Thank you and good evening to all of you. We had a very productive trip to Puerto Rico today. I want to thank Delta Airlines that has been extraordinary in their generosity, and the UPS and UNICEF. We brought back with us New York State police officers under the supervision of Lieutenant Tom Payton, who just spent 2 weeks in Puerto Rico. We want to thank them very much for their service. It was above and beyond. It's a tough duty being away from home for 2 weeks, and Puerto Rico really does need help, and they were very, very appreciative. I want to thank Major Tony Plata and the National Guard, who have been there since the hurricane started in rotation. We also have 78 medical personnel that are coming back tonight that have been there for 2 weeks, nurses and doctors from the Greater New York Health and Hospital Association, from 1199, and from the New York State Nurses Association. I would love to be able to say that there's been tremendous progress since the first time we were in Puerto Rico, which was basically the day after the hurricane, to today. But that is not true. The situation is still deplorable in Puerto Rico. You have about 80% of the people without power. You have about 30% of the people without clean drinking water. And it is still a critical situation. Governor Rosselló wanted me to extend his thanks to the people of New York. We've sent over 3,000 pallets of donated goods. It's really been extraordinary the way New Yorkers have stepped up to help. And Governor Rosselló wanted to extend his personal thanks. The fact that the recovery has been as slow as it is in Puerto Rico, in my opinion, they deserve much better. And we should have made more progress by now. 36 days, and you still don't have power to 80% of the island is incredible. We went through Hurricane Sandy, if you remember, on Long Island, and 3-4 days without power was like a lifetime. This has been now 36 days without power. If you have to wonder, if you had a state in the United States that went 36 days without power, what kind of reaction you would have. It would be on the TV news every night. People would be outraged. And people tend to forget that Puerto Ricans are Americans. And they really did deserve a better response than they're getting. I told the governor and the officials in Puerto Rico, the Army Corps of Engineers is now heading up the power recovery effort with the Power Authority of Puerto Rico. New York utilities would send down hundreds of crews, and we would do that within days from our utility companies. If the Army Corps of Engineers wanted that assistance under what's called the mutual aid program. But there's no excuse for the delay, in my opinion. The governor of Puerto Rico, Governor Rosselló, is also very interested in using this as an opportunity to build in resiliency into Puerto Rico. There's no doubt that a lot of the systems that were there needed help. The power system, the communication system. And there's also no doubt that after you go through a crisis like this, it is an opportunity, not just to replace what was there, but to rebuild, and to rebuild better. We have the 5th anniversary of Hurricane Sandy coming up this Sunday. And the amount of resilience work and improvement work that we did during Hurricane Sandy recovery is really remarkable. The power system is different. The way we build homes are different. The way we rebuilt the sewage treatment plants is different. The way we rebuilt our tunnels in Manhattan are different. And Governor Rosselló is very interested in developing that kind of resilience program for Puerto Rico. I told him we would love to work with him on that. The governor himself may come as early as next week to take a tour of what we've done in terms of resilience and to design that into a plan for Puerto Rico. So that would be a silver lining to this terrible situation. If you could actually build back a Puerto Rico that was better than the one that existed. And I think there's an opportunity to do that. I'm looking forward to the governor's visit. I'm looking forward to working with Puerto Rico on this resiliency project. The help that we are providing is still necessary. And I told the governor on behalf of all the people of New York, as long as their road to recovery is, we will walk with them every step of the way. I want to thank again the New York State Police, the National Guard, the nurses, all the New Yorkers who have been so kind and so generous and given their time. 2 weeks in Puerto Rico is a long 2 weeks because they need a tremendous amount of help. And I thank from the bottom of my heart, as governor of the state, all the great New Yorkers who have been giving help to the people of Puerto Rico. They desperately need it. Thank you very much, and thank you for taking the time. Well, you know, I'm not blaming anyone. The first responders who were there, the FEMA responders, our first responders, they're working very, very hard. The result, the product, I think is unacceptable. The hurricane was 36 days ago. 36 days without power is a very, very long time. Just imagine if it happened in New York, or if it happened in Connecticut, or if it happened in California. Imagine the coverage that you would be seeing on the media. Imagine the outrage by people. You remember what we went through on Long Island, 3 or 4 days without power after Hurricane Sandy. People were at their wits' end. People of Puerto Rico are Americans. We forget that. And as Americans, they deserve better than they have gotten in terms of results. Effort is nice. Results are important and necessary. And 36 days without power, 30% of the country without clean water, you're going to have people who die as a result of this storm, even 36 days later. And that's not acceptable, not today. We're better than that, and we have done better than that. The federal response, I don't believe, has been adequate in terms of results. 36 days without power is too long. Thank you.